Monique appeared on the Club Shay Shay podcast with Shannon Sharpe. She opened up about her grievances with Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, Lee Daniels, Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, Tiffany Haddish, Will Packer, the president of Lionsgate, and Dl Hughley. Many might be aware of some of Monique's grievances, especially with people like Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey, whom Monique has publicly spoken about for many years. But not many are aware of her issues with Dl Hughley. So many of you might be wondering,
what did DL do?
Stay tuned.
Let me tell you.
Monique expressed her feelings regarding Dl Hughley, at which she called him out about a few things that he did which she didn't appreciate.
And there's a brother named Dl Hughley.
Yep.
Through the years, I've watched DL speak ill of me. Through the years, I never knew Dl Hughley had a problem with me.
And of course, DL took to Instagram with the clapback.
Every time I see Monique these days, she's on doing some greasy ass video with her and her daddy complaining about something.
Stay tuned as we've got all the messy and juicy details here on Celebrity Business. Monique and Dl Hughley have seemingly been at odds for quite some time. Apparently, they had a falling out after Monique went on the Dl Hughley radio show. She expressed she had a great time being on the radio show until a game the radio host asked to play was seemingly personal and inappropriate.
Right? I do DL's radio show.
Yes.
And Shannon, we having a great time. They say, Monique, you want to play a game? It's a game called Would You Rather. Would you rather your husband sleep with Lee Daniels with a condom or Corinne Steffens without one?
Monique shared with Shannon Sharpe that Dl Hughley was not at the radio show on that particular day.
Dl Hughley is not there. His team is there. I said to the team, how does that uplift our community? Well, we just planned. I said, tell me the joke in that because I don't know what you're insinuating.
And since it's his radio show, she insisted on speaking with Dl Hughley about it.
So I said, I'm going to call my brother. DL, I'm going to call my brother. I call Dl Hughley on the phone. I say, hey, baby, yeah.
She expressed that Dl Hughley didn't share the same sentiments and was rather dismissive about the whole thing.
I just got off the phone with your team, and they wanted to play this game, Would You Rather? And it was like stupid. Like asking me about my husband and Lee Daniels and Corinne Steffens, and his exact words, well, that's how we do it.
Monique continued to share with Shannon Sharpe that things got so heated, she had to get her attorney involved.
It got so ugly that my attorney had to send a cease and desist, so it never aired.
Since that encounter, Monique and Dl Hughley never met, interacted, or crossed paths until they were both scheduled to do a stand-up show in Detroit, at which both comedians thought they were the headliners.
We have a show in Detroit. Contractually, I was the headliner. Dl Hughley didn't come into the building until 9:30. Now, contractually, I said I have to be on stage by 9:30 because if the show starts at 8, I refuse to keep an audience waiting.
Right.
That is disrespectful to the audience.
Correct.
When I went out on that stage, Shannon, I made sure everything I said, he heard me. Because now you're here and I'm going to say it to you.
Just as Monique explained to Shannon Sharpe, she went off on Dl Hughley because he apparently refused to go on stage before her. Everybody knows that the person that goes on stage last is considered the bigger star. Even though they had a contract that said Monique was the headliner, Dl completely dismissed that fact, and so he purposefully arrived late to the comedy show, which forced Monique to go on stage first.
Contract said the headliner, but a nigga named Dl Hughley turned into a bitch and said, I won't perform if she does that. I won't go out if she does that. Nigga, you open for the kings of comedy, I close for the queens of comedy, nigga. So when I leave this month, the headliner has left.
A few days after that show, Dl called out Monique on Instagram with his post. All you have to do is check the order of names on the ticket from last night and you'll see who's confused. Against my better judgment, over the objections of my team and 4 other occasions where I said no, I decided to take a chance and work with Monique. Oprah was the problem. Tyler Perry was the problem. Now it's my turn. At some point, it can't be everyone else. It's you. People paid a lot of money to laugh, not hear about your contract. To which Monique responded saying, the fact that you point the people to the ticket stubs for the order of the names versus to your contract implies that you don't have a contract that shows you are the headliner like I do. Either show your contract or shut up. The two went back and forth on Instagram with this issue, which never got resolved. Monique even shared a copy of the contract on social media, which proves her claims were correct. However, Dl Hughley seemingly refused to admit that he breached the contract.
And there's a brother named Dl Hughley.
Yep.
And until he take accountability, till he's brave enough and courageous enough to say this is what really happened, y'all, I won't let it go.
Dl Hughley took to his Instagram to share his thoughts on what Monique said on the Club Shay Shay podcast.
Every time I see Monique these days, she's on doing some greasy ass video with her and her daddy complaining about something or working out. I don't know nobody that work out that much in game weight unless every crunch you do has got captain in front of it. But apparently she goes on Club Shay Shay and tells the story about how she came on my radio show and I wasn't there at the time. And my co-host Jasmine Sanders played a game that we played all the time with everybody called Would You Rather. She apparently was so offended by that she says she got off. She called me. Monique did, and she said I was very dismissive, like, Monique's a liar. When Monique did call me, I heard her complaints, I listened to her, and I pulled the segment. So if I had been as dismissive as she alleges I was, that segment would have aired. It didn't, because I respected her wishes. She's a liar. It also befuddles the shit out of me how somebody who has a comedian talks as much shit about everybody else as she does. She has the temerity to be offended about anything as much shit as you say about people.
Monique and her husband Sidney had to come with a clap back to the clap back.
We wanted to address first and foremost our brother, Dl Hughley. And we are firm believers on what is right and what is wrong. So we got to start off by saying there was an inaccuracy as it regards Monique saying that there was a cease and desist that was given to DL to shut it down. What had taken place, to be accurate, was after Monique spoke to Brother DL on that conversation, Brother DL said, what?
Well, after we spoke on that conversation, when we hung up that phone, the last thing he said was, it is what it is. And I said, DL, and we're going to have to get our attorney involved. That's the last thing me and Dl Hughley said on that conversation.
And after having that conversation with Monique, we went and got our attorney involved, Attorney Anderson. At the time, there were some emails that were transferred back and forth between his side and our side, and it escalated to a point where we had our attorney on the email, whereby then finally DL said that he would scratch the interview.
This broad even brought out my daughter's personal trauma. My daughter was molested, and Monique brought that shit out and told the world that I allowed my daughter to be raped in front of me. The lying mother. She knows she was lying. And it only stopped when everybody from my family checked her.
And you said, Monique said, I stood by and watched my daughter be raped. Dl Hughley, that's your conscience talking to you, brother. I never said that. I never said that. And I want to be a little clear about something else. Never would I try to do anything to harm any of your babies, because we got babies too. So never would I try to do anything to harm your children. However, what I was saying to your daughter and to the other daughters out there, I know what it's like for your daddy to know you've been touched and he not protect you, because my daddy did the same thing. That's what that whole point was. But I was showing why I would call you a coward, brother. I don't think it's brave that you didn't protect your baby. So when I said what I was saying, let me be clear to you, Dl Hughley, it had nothing to do in reference to your family, and you know that.
I'm taking time to respond to Monique again. She made another greasy ass video with her daddy. But you can't pull up one time on any platform that I said anything about you at all, because you know you're lying. You got that piece of paper and that big ass memory, but you can't pull one up. My biggest mistake is saying yes to you. I should have said no when you couldn't come on my radio show. I should have said no that I wasn't playing those dates with you. As a matter of fact, almost anybody who says yes to you at some point is in this milieu with you. Almost anybody. So I would suggest anybody out there, you can say yes to drugs, but say no to Monique. You also intimated that I was a coward. You know what I'd never do? I would never let my woman take care of me. I would never let my woman get evicted from her apartment. I would never let my woman have to ask another man for money. I'd never do that. Can your old man say the same? He loves you. Of course, he got to say that. You claim him on your taxes. He's a dependent. He's sitting there with you right now. And everything. Because it ain't like he does anything else. But you never address the salient point. I said that if you spent as much time writing your Netflix special as you did arguing about getting it, it would have been trash. It was. I didn't say it. I defy anybody out there. Stop listening to me. Watch it. Read the reviews. Read the reviews. You begged for something. You made valid points that women are underpaid, that they're not valued. That's absolutely right. So you would think that when you got a chance to do something that you can argue for, you be up for the challenge, but you shit the bed because you never are ready for it, because all you ever do is complain about what you don't have.
This is all just messy, and it seems Monique and DL are going to keep on with this back and forth because neither one will admit to their faults in this drama. Drop a comment. Let us know your thoughts on this video. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates on this mess between DL and Monique. Catch up on more celebrity business in the next video.